Hello, it's John Binnie. I'm here with my dog Patch, and I'm a psychic spiritual mentor, and I offer. I'm not sure if the video cuts out when I do this. When I swap cameras, I offer a range of services, including in-person and online quantum psychic readings, clearings, healings, past life regression. Helping people with soul retrievals, remove negative energies and entities, activating their superpowers, helping them go back and heal past life hidden witch wounds, and mentoring. I run training courses. I have an app, I have a membership group, and I also do psychic reflexology, and in person, which is foot massage, and in parallel psychic reading and quantum healing. And then I'm also training, just started offering Swedish massage. So anyway, that's a range of stuff. I wanted to talk to you today to share a little bit about my journey with client sessions. I've been doing a lot more of these sessions over the last few months, and up to around 3 or 4 a day, each of which are about an hour, hour and a half, and most of them have been doing my online services for quantum psychic healing. So I thought I'd make a little video because some of you have been asking about what I do in between sessions, and I'd also like to share some of the things I've been learning about how to both run the sessions themselves. I always enjoy watching Patch have a good sniff. How I run the session, and like advice I can give you as someone that's receiving a session, and also if you're maybe just getting started at running your own sessions, some practical tips that will help you. So the first is, when you book online with me, maybe that's a dull a dull video of the ground. When you book online with me, you go on and you book the date and time. Come on, Patch. And you book the service. You also give me a little bit of information, like why you booked the service, like what you want me to focus on, how you found me, and then also any other like health considerations that would be good for me to know, that would help either give context or for me to be aware of in your session. And that those three, simple things other than your name and address and what you booked, are really, really helpful for me. And I was just taking Patch out for a walk, as you can see, and there was this really lovely reflection I was having, which was, I just really enjoy in advance reading and often rereading the whatever you've put into the form once you start making the booking. And what I enjoy doing is, how to describe it, it's almost like a kind of background task in my brain, maybe like my subconscious and my higher self are given the task to really allow me to start to digest and reflect upon the booking itself. And so what happens when you sign up for one of my services, you agree, you consent to the service itself. So I make sure that the service description shares, a bit about all the different things that I do in the session, or should I say the possibilities. So some of the most important aspects of that, and apologies, I'm just picking up Patch's poo, which I'm trying not to get on video or anywhere else. Okay, Patch, let's go. So there's that aspect of consent. It's like so important, right? Both I feel that it is important because unwanted healings are like a form of energetic attack, and then the second part is that you can do the work a lot better when you have consent, and that when you're booking a service, like, please do read the description. Mine has like a list of all the things that may happen, And it explains that at the start of the session we'll set the intention, and I ask for guidance from your guides, so about how to do it and what to do it. Quite a lot of the time it includes bringing forward one of your guides, having a chat, going through some healing, visiting a past life or not, or future life or not, talking about your soul mission, and a whole load of different things. But they're some of the common themes, just to give some context. So yeah, when you book, that's really powerful, because it allows me to get you to sign up for, consenting and have a clear idea of what the session's about. And then when you give me some information, like right now it is about 12:30 and my next session is in an hour and 30 minutes. An hour and 30 minutes? 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I've read the really wonderful description. And so what you've asked for in the booking. And I now just allow that to permeate, is that a word? To kind of just to resonate around me. And so when I go for a walk and I'm not making a video, what I will do is just allow that experience to, especially when I walk here in nature, it's lovely. In fact, I'm being drawn to go over into these woods here. It allows me to receive further guidance, reflections, awareness. And I could, do a load of homework. Some people do this. I've been on the receiving end of that as well, where it's almost like they've done the entire session before you turn up to the Zoom call. I've never done that. I always prefer to do it live, and in part because I love your interaction. I love you asking questions as we go. So then when it comes up to the session, I make sure that I have a safe space. So right now I have a soundproof music studio that I use for my sessions. The downside is it doesn't have any air circulation, so I can only spend a couple of hours at a time in it, and then open up the doors and make sure that air comes in and out. And I'm busy. I've just invested. I'm busy building a second place I can do it. So I'll be able to do it in my office, up in the main area of our house, at least while my wife is at work and my son is at school, and my daughter's not staying with us from university. Then I basically go in with some water and I sit down, and just before we start the session, I clear a safe space, put some protection around me. And I also, more recently, I start by consciously opening my heart. So once you create a safe space around yourself, a bit like, when you feel at home somewhere, it's a really beautiful way to say, "You're safe, John." I know that when I go into a session, I'll have a big, open, loving heart, but with strong boundaries. And so as long as someone meets my boundaries, then... And I actually have those on my website. So when people sign up for an account or any service on my website, they agree to those same boundaries, if you like. So yeah, I think that really helps both, attracts the right people for your services. It's going to be a good match for your for what you offer, and then also just being really clear with yourself and others what you do and don't tolerate, and everyone gets to choose what that is, right? These are such beautiful trees. They're so huge. And then when we start the session, so first of all, we turn up on Zoom, video and audio. And what I like about my website is it's already created the Zoom call automatically when you made the booking. So, and taking payment. So all I need to do is turn up and say hello and do my thing. And yeah, I love saying hello, and a little bit of chat for the first 5 to 10 minutes. And what I do is I bring up the booking form again with what you've entered in it, and I read it out to you, because for some of you, what you've written may be weeks or months old. At the moment, a lot of them are just written in November, so not that far away, but I'm sure by the time we get to my May bookings, you may have booked 5 months prior. So I read it back out, and then I ask, what are the specific intentions that you'd like me to focus on? So maybe the top 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 at most. And the reason is not because I don't, often we cover like a massive range of stuff in your session. It's not so much about how many things we can get through. It's more about getting really clear about what it is you would like to get out of the session. Because when I start the session and I begin by setting up a safe space, I always create a safe space so that we know that when we're running the session that only those that we've invited in and that have our highest good love and compassion in their hearts will be present. And it also means that we get a much clearer channel, like a bit like, I don't know, if you're trying to have a chat with someone and you're at a party surrounded by people and it's just really hard to hold a conversation. Or maybe you're walking down by the side of a road and trying to make a video and there's lots of cars going by. So these are really powerful, right? Like, I start with a safe space, and then I invite in your spirit guides and the archangels that I work with, and then I set the intention. So I very clearly set out the intention to see, so for example, common themes include, we'd like to learn the life purpose, like what life purpose has my client's soul chosen in this life. And secondly might be the like what gifts, the superpowers they want to activate in this lifetime, and then to support that mission, that purpose, and then also to help with any healing, like clearing any blockages, stopping, removing anything that's stopping you and holding you back. So these are, that might be 3 things. They're 3 very common things, and I love that everyone has different terms and definitions of these aspects of our lives. Come on, Patch, this is the busy area I want to walk away from, buddy. I actually prefer walking with them as well, not just standing sniffing. So yeah, once we set the intention, I then ask one of your spirit guides to come forwards, and I do teach this in my intermediate training, which I'm running just now. And in fact, I think we're about to go into that some of that training today, which is really cool, very timely. So I'm trying to remember what's in week 2 of the intermediate training. And one of the practices as a class is we connect with each other, and then we ask one of the guides to come forwards for the other, like your buddy in the class, like your other class member that you're working with. And it's so cool because you experience like connecting with someone else's guide, which is just a really powerful, beautiful experience. And in some ways, it can be easier to connect with other people's guides because they're very different to you. They're very different energy, and it's almost like they make an even extra effort. It's like, not that our spirit guides don't make an effort, that's not fair, but when someone visits your house, like you just feel their energy is different. And a lot of this is just, one-to-one, being human 101. And you just know it, right? And so when you're working with someone else and you've set up a safe space and you invite forwards their spirit guide, it can be really beautiful to experience that difference in their energy, which I really love doing. So yeah, I ask your spirit guide to come forwards, and then I spend a little bit of time, a few minutes, doing the introduction. And this is where I describe as reasonably fast as I can, like at a pace, like who they are, what they look like, where they're from. And the last few guides that I've worked with, clients' guides, have had kind of more gradual introductions, which I think is a really cool way of introducing themselves. They often want to like show the most important part of themselves first, like maybe their superpower first. Right. And one thing they do is I've seen guides like just slowly show their form to me. There's some mildly offensive graffiti on that bin, which I'm trying to get on camera. So yeah, there's this like aspect of just seeing the guide, describing what they look like, finding out where they're from, like what is the superpower, where do they know the client from, why do they come forwards at this time to work with us, because we've set a clear intention, so it's good to know, like, to join up some of the dots. Like, we asked you to come here and to help my client understand their life purpose, and so when the guide comes forwards, you've got the guide that is going to be able to help, or thereabouts, with life purpose. So we go through a bit of that. And then I also get a name. It was quite funny because the session I did this morning, the client's guide, they were like whispering their name even before they showed themselves, really. And I was like, oh, making my job easy. I'd say the names can be a little bit harder to get, but I find just with practice, if you just make space and allow the client to to open up and receive, and you do it as well, and you've asked the guide, I just say it out loud, I say, please tell me your name. And if I just allow them to repeat it a few times, like I allow the client's guide to repeat their name. Anyway, then we have a bit of a chat about the main intentions that we've had, once we get some context about the guide. More recently, I've also heard a lot about my clients in those first interactions, hearing a lot about their past lives and soul origins, which are really fascinating. Some souls going back, millennia, and then it is often important to giving context to their life purpose in this life, or any healing that needs to come forwards. And then we'll work through, often we'll go on to like a healing, so quantum healing, scanning through the chakras and meridians and nervous system and organs and every physical and metaphysical aspect. And as I go through each one, finding out messages, clearing any negative energy, activating any superpowers, and helping heal, like making sure the chakra is well connected to the others, that there's a strong energy flow between everything, strong communication, support, and healing of any traumas. And quite often I'll connect the client's crown chakra over to their guides, like weave light between the two, so that they're able to work more easily and connect more easily together. The life of Patch. Standing by the side of a road, ignoring traffic. I often wonder how long he'll survive. He's so oblivious to traffic. If you let him off the lead, he just runs around like there's no boundaries, which I love. He's very non-conformist. So yeah, we go through the session, and I would say what you've been telling me recently is that they're very powerful sessions. They're very transformative. I feel like, having a session with me a couple of times a year, every 3 months or something is a fantastic balance, depending on what it is you want to get out of it. And throughout the session, I'll also ask your guide about the practical steps, like this is all lovely and, you know, incredible messages, but what is my client going to do day to day to develop their superpowers or follow their mission? Like, what are the next steps? And almost always there's a focus on the client like healing themselves first, or practicing activating their superpowers first, and then once they've done that, they go on and practice it and teach it to others, which is, you know, incredible, right? Like, it's definitely been a theme for me, like, do it once then teach it. It's like, no, you've done it for the first time, you're the teacher. Like, oh great, how exciting. And a little bit terrifying, but it served me well. It makes this work much more exciting. So after that, yeah, I often ask the guides, like, is there anything I offer that would help the clients? And I'm conscious, like, I don't want everything to be a sales pitch, but equally, you know, if I have something that's going to help my client, whether it's free or paid, it's good to share it. So the first thing is easy, which is the 14-day Spirit Guide Meditation Challenge. I have 2 of those challenges, and they're just really powerful to help build that day-to-day practice, including talking to your spirit guide. So what I tell my client is, hey, you've heard the name of your spirit guide, here's the free meditations, go and talk to them each day, but, you know, call them by name, know their name, you know a little bit about their energy now that you've had a session with me, and then I just focus on you know, telling them to, like, speak out loud. And whenever you practice, and you've tried, and your guides have no doubt tried, say thank you, like, be grateful, show your gratitude. It's just so important. And I also talk a little bit about my membership group, which for a few months now has had a free 30-day trial. You can, like, trial period, you can try it out for free. Also the premium meditation, so if you sign up for the free trial, you also get access during the time that you have an active membership. You get access to the premium premium meditations, and they're like one-to-one style, so they're really good to like 1 hour plus sessions, for instance, cultivating your self-love, receiving your dream life, negative entity clearing. There's one that's similar, it's a similar style to the quantum psychic sessions I do. So there's just a whole range of things that you can try out. There's many more as well. And then my higher self foundational training, which next starts in March, and I run it at least a couple times a year. And they're just really powerful, beautiful experiences to offer to others. And frankly speaking, yes, it's lovely to earn an income from this, and also to see the beautiful souls. Like, if I've done a session for you, I really love working with you again, and it's entirely your choice. And I do feel the main thing is, even if you only engage with my free meditations, like I just noticed yesterday, over 300 of you now have been using my free meditation, so thank you. It's just important to me that you continue to develop yourself in line with your chosen purpose, and because the world needs you. You came here for a reason, and it's just such an honor to witness your growth and contribution to the earth at this time. So thank you. And I often spend time at the end of my sessions, as I close down the session and clear up the energy, and advise my clients to get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water. I also advise them to have a listen back. So same day I'll send on a recording of the session, and just privately to my client, and then I encourage them to watch it back, to take some notes, because often there's a lot there. And I would like to talk a little bit about the integration process. So I would describe the kind of first initial reaction from people is almost always just a really powerful, beautiful experience, and felt very good and felt very safe and loving. So they're kind of on a cloud nine, like very high vibration, just feel very grateful after the session happened. And then the next thing is to really to take that experience, all the messages and the advice that's often very kind of densely packed into that hour, or there's also an hour and 30 minutes service I offer. There's a lot that happens in these sessions, and so listening to the recording back and taking some notes is really helpful, because what that allows you to do is start to assimilate, to integrate. And by this I mean, for some clients I will spend a bit of time just describing this process, because it's really important for them, depending on how much you've integrated already in the session itself. But let's say, for example, you have this incredible superpower, maybe it's focused around your heart, that you just don't know how to use it yet. Or maybe you've had a partial message. Sometimes we're not ready to know the full scope of a superpower, just that it's like you're just getting started to using it. And so what I tend to do is I'll say, listen back to the recording and take some notes, and as you're playing it back, almost give a yes, no, maybe to, does it feel true for me? Does it feel real for me at this time? And what's powerful about that is that it's a process, it's a conscious way of integrating the session. So if you just go to a session with me or someone else, and then you take no action afterwards, then you're kind of limiting the experience to just the lovely experience that you had, lovely hour or hour and 30 minutes. If you take some action, like maybe it encourages you to start daily meditation, or maybe meditate on and off, and you're just developing your own consistent practice, and it doesn't need to be John Binnie's meditations, it can be anyone's, then what happens is it's like you're giving feedback to yourself, to your guides, to the universe, that, hey, thank you for that session, it meant something to me, and I'm going to start doing something different as a result, or something more as a result. And if you listen back and you go through it with a fine tooth comb, and you say, this resonates with me, and here's the action I feel like I'm going to take, or this resonates with me and I'm going to reflect on how I would go about integrating this activity into my life, and you'd also say, oh, this thing I didn't really agree with, or I just don't really understand, and some things you say, so it's a kind of maybe, and then there's things no, it's like, no, I don't agree with that. And of course I'd love to think that, often clients will sit in a session and agree with everything as it goes through it. It's important to just give you time to integrate it, for it to settle in, to absorb the information and the energy from the session into you, so that over time you just feel like, yeah, this feels like these are the key things that are real for me. And even if you just take one thing from that session that you take forwards, it's really powerful, right? It's funny, I just saw a big flash of light in the woods there. Just as I said, it's really powerful, right? And there's this big flash. It's like a big white light flash above the ground, maybe. And there's nothing metallic in there. Or lights. It's too bright outside for light to really shine. Imagine if someone was if an angel was standing on someone's shoulders, that's what it looked like. I don't know if it was caught on camera, but very cool. Or if it's just seen in my third eye. And then some of the other questions I get are, what about the boundaries after sessions? So in part because of like the large number of sessions I do now, I don't ask you to engage with an email chain with me afterwards. So I'd never keep up, and I'd disappoint many people. So instead I say to people, if you want to, join my membership group. And it's lovely there because you can not just connect with me, but you can connect with everyone there. I think there's about 30 or so of us at the moment. And it's just lovely. A lot of people are sharing their daily experiences. I share my daily experience, which is a lot of fun. Hi.
Dempster Road, please. Sorry, Dempster, please.
Oh, I think isn't that over at the other side of? Do you know Dumbarton?
No, I don't.
So I think it's these are all new houses, but there's. Yeah, it's over towards Deer Park, which is you'd head. Right, yeah. So you head back onto this road,
Yes.
and then you go down Spot Road, and it takes you all the way down to a junction which goes left to the High Street or right to the towards Deer Park.
Yes.
So you take the right, you go past some old houses. They're old for a little while, and then you keep going, and you get close to Deer Park, and it's on the right hand side. Yeah, I was.
I'll go down here and then I'll go on to Spot Road.
Yeah, and take a left down, and it takes you down towards town, and then take a right away from town. So yeah.
I get down the main road. I was at the main road earlier.
Right. Yeah.
And I took a left. If I'd taken a right, I've probably been all night.
That's right. Yeah. I happened to be there yesterday. No problem. See you. Come on, Patch. I hope you don't mind me giving directions to the gentleman. What was I saying? Yeah, just about you can connect with people in the membership group, and I think this is also important as well as a practitioner that how do I describe it? Sustain my energy, because I must admit, the feeling I have during a client session is I love my client. Like, I feel very much this like unconditional love. I'm so grateful that they've been through very powerful experiences in their life. Often many of us experience trauma, and yet often it's a lesson to be able to help grow different skills and learn these lessons to be able to activate the superpowers and better serve others. Starting with healing yourself and then healing others. So, I often form during that hour and 30 minutes, I feel very close and very connected with my client. But I have to, at the very end of the session, disconnect, and we both step outside of the session bubble. And the reason for that is that if I just remain connected all the time, it would be too much for me. I'd have all these different cords and attachments to people, and it wouldn't be sustainable for me. So that's why the membership group's a great place. It's a safe place to join, and you can also come along to my live streams, comment on videos, all these things I welcome, and they're much more scalable for me than just one-to-one emails with everyone, or direct messages. Anything else to share? Some of you have asked if it's a phone call. For the sessions I do know, it's a Zoom call, so video and audio. Sometimes it's like early in the morning for the client, and so I tend to just be aware that they might not want to have video on the whole time, but it's up to you. I'll have mine on all the time. And I hope this helps you. If you have any questions about the way my sessions work, or Any advice you'd like me to give on any topics, just let me know. And I look forward to doing another video for you again soon. Take care, everyone. Sending love from Petchina.